Hi there again, folks. This is Sheila E. from Tennessee, and today we're going to make some biscuits, some homemade biscuits, and uh, show you a little bit different way. And then I have my beautiful granddaughter-in-law here, and I'm not sure if she's ever made homemade biscuits. She does a wonderful job at baking anything that she tries to do. So what we've got here is we've got some just regular milk. A lot of people use buttermilk, and I do, but sometimes I just like the sweet taste of the sweet milk in biscuits. So I've got 2% milk and some white lily self-rising flour, and of course the Crisco, and I like to use the butter Crisco for the biscuits, but you can use regular Crisco. Also, right now what I'm going to do is move you over here because we're going to have country fried steak, biscuits and gravy, and then we're going to have some fried potatoes. So I've got my skillet hot, and I've got these potatoes already, and that was really hot. They're all ready to go in. My daughter has cut them and diced them. Let me get these in here. The skillet does have to be hot when you're making fried potatoes, because if you put them in and the skillet's not hot with your shortening or your olive oil or whatever kind of shortening or lard that you use, some people like to fry them in hog lard, which is Lay's lard. You can hardly find it anymore. But so we're going to get these in here, and we're going to get a good crisp on them, and we're not going to turn them. We're just going to let them fry, and then as they get a good crisp on the bottom, we will turn them over and start to turn them then. So let me get some of this grease up here. Washing my hands again. I said, my goodness. That sure throw grease everywhere. Did y'all see that grease? Did y'all see that grease flying everywhere? I was going to tell you, I made that video yesterday of, what was it I made yesterday? I done a video yesterday of that brownie pie. And can you tell a difference today in me than yesterday? I don't even know who that was yesterday. But I did paint the barn. And the barn looks a little better. And we went to church this morning. And like I said yesterday, our communities all the way around us are having floods. And a lot of places are destroyed. A lot of people have lost their homes. And just keep us all in prayer. But anyway, we've got our potatoes, and I'm going to go ahead and show you. All I do is I turn my stove out back on about a medium high. I'm just going to use my salt. My ancestor says that's enough. And then if it ain't enough, my ancestors may be wrong. When I get done, I can always add more. And my ancestors always tell me to use a lot of black pepper. We love black pepper. So now I'm just going to let them fry, and I'm going to put this little spatula here just in case when I get ready. This big old kettle here is going to be for my gravy because I got a bunch of people to feed. And then I'm going to have some country fried steaks. My country fried steaks are pre-made. Don't look at me bad. I can make country fried steak with minute steaks, and you just flour them. You get them and you put the flour on them, and you fry them like you would these potatoes, and then you make country fried steaks out of them. So I'm going back over here because we're going to get these biscuits on the go. I have got my oven preheated to 400, so we're ready to go. I'm going to wash my hands one more time. My granddaughter-in-law, Alexis, we call her Lexi, she's ready to go. Let me get another thing of paper towels. Alright, so we're going to get started here. Just let us wash our hands one more time. And I'm going to let my baby girl here go to work and get her hands dirty. I'm just wondering.
There it is. Okay.
We're fighting with a paper towel roll over here. That's okay. That's okay. All right. So we'll just use that here. All right. So now we're ready to go. I'm going to cut these potatoes down just a little. I'm not going to put my gravy or my country fried steaks on just till my biscuits and my fried potatoes get pretty good. I did go ahead and spray my pans But also what I'm going to do is I'm going to put me just a little bit of Crisco butter in there. And that's really just for flavor. And you just get a little in your hand and spread it around there. I shouldn't even have spread it. I usually just use Crisco, but this will be all right because they'll be good. They'll be good, honey. They'll be delicious, you all. So now I've got shortening all over my hand. Now, if you want to sift your flour, be more than welcome to go ahead and sift your flour. I don't see no reason in it. You can if you want to. I have. My mama did. So here's how I do it. We start out with a big old bunch of self-rising white lily flour. And Lexi just told me, that's every bit there. She just told me that her grandfather,
Oh yeah, my great-grandfather.
her great-grandfather,
He worked at the White Lily flour factory, I guess it technically was.
so
Yeah.
I'm going to let her begin. And so she's ready to go. We've got some water here too, and it's good cold water. So we've got a whole big bunch of white lily self-rising flour. So you make a well, and then when she gets done, I'm going to make a round, and she's going to make a round. Because we want a whole bunch of biscuits. You make your well, and it's like Brenda Gant says, like a bird nest. But my mama always called it a well, so that's why I'm sort of particular in calling it a well.
We add milk in.
You're going to add your shortening first, and I'm going to show you how you measure. Of course, according to, you just put your hand right in there. Your hands are clean, and you just get out a big old scoop.
Okay. Big enough?
Nope.
Okay.
We're making a bunch of
Big enough?
Nope.
Okay.
A little bit more.
Okay.
Now I want you to look at her hand. She's got quite a bit, and it looks like a baseball. So we're putting that in the well, and now we're going to add some, here baby, if you want to wipe your hands off.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to be back in that.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Yeah. So
Either way.
then we're going to start adding to this well, and I want you to see her well with her shortening in there. And then we're going to start adding some milk. So when you get in here with this milk, you're going to start mashing it. No, mash your butter. Butter, your Crisco. You're just going to work it, just mash it all up just like you would if that was butter. Okay. Take one hand out.
Just one.
Yeah, you're going to use your prominent hand,
Okay.
and you're working that in. Now once you get that Crisco, and some people use butter for this too. I'm going to get you a little bit closer. Some people use butter. We use butter Crisco. So now you use your prominent hand, keep your other hand, and now we're going to add more milk because she's got her Crisco or her butter working in there. And then what we're going to do, as you work around, you're going to incorporate some flour. Very little at a time, and you keep that well. You make sure you got your well going. And then we're going to add a little bit of cold water. And like I said, you got to have to wash your hands. And this is something you can't make with gloves on.
Too sticky with gloves.
Make sure you got your well.
Okay.
Now pull that off of your fingers. And we're going to see what this consistency, make sure we still got our well in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit more water. Don't take it all off, because we want a little bit more, because we had quite a bit. The more Crisco or butter you put in, the more biscuits you're going to make. So, and we're not measuring. This was a full cup of water. We've got about half of it. You just keep, there you go. Yeah. And as you add in, you'll, there you go.
Keep it well.
Not that well. Not that. Okay.
But just make sure it's in
just
the
the flour well. Just the flour.
Okay.
Just this well.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we're going to add a little bit more milk.
You gonna make a cat head?
That's what we're doing.
She's doing wonderful. So, and you just keep working it around like that right there. And then don't work any more flour in it. Just work all you've got right there. You can't overwork your biscuit dough. And if you overwork your biscuit dough, your biscuits are not going to be fluffy. They're going to be kind of hard. The way I like biscuits, I like a little crust on the top and soft and fluffy in the middle. Okay. Now, there we go. We've got this good consistency. As you can see right there, And now what I'm going to show you, what I want you to do, is you're going to take this right here. You see what I'm doing, guys? And you're all right, because I'm going to let you pull all of that off, but I'm going to let you do this part.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do the next one.
Okay.
And so as you get it to that consistency, you take and you just take your flour and you just pat it back out and make sure you still got some underneath there. Now at this point, when you get it stiff enough, if you want to roll out your biscuits and you want them perfectly round, you can roll this, put some flour on your countertop or on your board, however how you do it, and you can take portions of this and just roll it out and cut your biscuits. Now this looks like feels good to me. So get some flour on your hands. Okay. Now I'm going to show her how we're going to do this. I'm going to put a little flour on my hands because we got our pan over here, and now I'm going to push this back up here where we got something to work with here. And now you see how that is. We're going to take our hands and we're going to pinch this right here, and we're going to lay that right on the pan.
That much?
That'll be a little biscuit.
Oh.
A big and then when it looks like that, here's what you do. You just drop it back in your flour, get you a little flour on it, and you're going to mash it and work that until it's pretty and you're proud of it. And when you get proud of it, you put it right there. Put it right there beside your mammies. You don't mash it down yet because it's going to be pushed up. We're going to get one more in there, and if it gets to where it don't want to look, there you go. Pinch you up a big old hunk, because these are cat head biscuits. These are called big old cat head biscuits. So I've got me a big bunch here, and you just drop it back in your flour to get some more flour on it.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that looks good.
Cool.
Okay, and then you just work. My mama used to do it like this. She used to do it like that right there. She'd bounce it back and forth.
She's pro.
Oh yeah, she made a lot of them. So go ahead and you can pinch it up. You don't have to have a certain spot. And then
That's
I'm going.
Big one.
Yeah.
I'm like, how big? How big
Yeah.
is too big?
There's not one too big.
Okay.
Like I was telling you, we went to Biscuit Head in Asheville, North Carolina for my first time, and their biscuits were huge. I thought mine was big, but mine was little according to theirs. And they were delicious, but they were square instead of round. So we've got a square pan ready, and we're gonna see if we can't. Go ahead, you got some more to work. Let me pat it out here and get it smooth for you. See, it's almost overworked, so there you go. And get you another big in there. There you go. And then you just gently. Yeah, there you go. You got it. You got it, girl. And then sometimes I just mash it so to get the cracks out of it. And all right, come on in here, Isaac. We'll let you see your wife. She's making homemade biscuits.
On camera. Say hi
Yeah,
on camera.
say hi to my grandson.
Mom.
Okay. So we got about 2 more of these big old cat head homemade biscuits, and my granddaughter-in-law's doing wonderful. So she's got the hang of it already.
Can this be one?
That can be one.
What is this mixed with?
So it's Crisco, water, milk,
And flour.
Where's the cat?
Where's the cat?
You said cat head biscuits?
We're the cat. Meow, meow. We're the cats meow. Okay.
I'm your cat's meow.
Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Okay, so we've got a little bit more here, and I'm just going to push it to the side. I'm going to look and see if there's any more in here, because we're going to make another round.
Down here.
You can put, let's see what you got there. We're going to put one right there, and you can put that right down here. So now once you, you can go ahead and rake your hands off, because we're not done. Where you will be, I'm going to make another round and put in this square pan. So,
I don't know what the best way.
That right there, and then I'm going to turn your water on, because I'm going to take these little crumbs right here, and now if you've got little crumbs, you can put them to the side, or you can put them right here with another little piece of a biscuit or whatever.
Okay.
All right, now when you put some flour, get your hand in this flour, and I want them to see. She's going to take this pan of biscuits that's just wadded up there. What's that right there? We're going to, okay, and then you're going to just take your hand and mash them down, not just flat as a flitter, but you're going to mash them down gently.
Into the pan.
Yes,
A little bit.
yes, and spread them out. Right there's one. So as you see that, guys and girls, she's made homemade biscuits. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to let her wash her hands and we're going to stick this in the oven and then I'm going to try to do some square ones. But guys, don't that look beautiful? I want you to look what a pan of cat had biscuits.
Stunning.
Yes, yes. She'll be having to make these for her family before long. So I'm going to go ahead and do this and put these in a preheated oven at 400 degrees. And I'm putting them on the second rack. Look at her biscuits. Yeah, so I'm putting them on the second rack. They're going to bake approximately 20 to 30 minutes. We will let you know the time. Missy, I've got a mess here, but I will get it up. You can't make biscuits without a mess. I just hate to tell you, but you can't. So anyway, we've got our pan going here again. And I believe I've got enough flour to go ahead and start. I'm going to add just a little bit more because I'm going to try to make some in this square pan that looks like probably won't be as good as the cat, let's say it was called the Biscuit Head in Asheville, North Carolina, and I hope that place is still there because I really did love it. So now I've got a square pan and I'm going to try to make some great old big ones in the square pan. And I'm going to take me a big old, look here what a big old, look here, Lou. Look here. Now that's how you, yeah, you just get a big old scoop of shortening. Now if you want to use butter or, like I said, hog lard or just plain Crisco, you can. Now once you start, you just want to work this Crisco up. You just work it up like it right there and break it apart. You getting it, baby?
Yeah.
Okay, so and then I'm going to add a little bit of water here in my well. You always make you a little well, or as Brenda Gant says, a bird nest. My mama always just called it a well. And I think that's...
Potatoes that you need?
Okay, turn them down just a little.
Turn it down, you say?
Yeah, there's a stove on. So I'm going to get some milk, and then I'm going to check my potatoes here in just a minute.
They run medium. You want 4 at the rate.
Okay. Just hold on a minute, guys. Let me check these potatoes. Take that thing and lift up underneath the edge of them and see if they're brown yet. Turn one of them over. Or they're not good and brown, are they? Okay, so we're
Should I
going to
keep
leave.
it on medium?
Yeah, that'll be fine. So, all right, guys. So here I go. I've got my well. I need enough biscuits to fill that pan right there. And I am using a little bit more water. I'm going to tell you something, guys. If you don't have milk, and I mean, back when my mama was growing up, and they didn't have milk, they used water to make biscuits. And you can. They're not as tasty, but they work. And you can also make homemade gravy with, if you're frying sausage or bacon or whatever you're frying the meat, you take that grease and you add a little bit more shortening, and you can see what now this is how you incorporate it. Instead of pushing it all in like this, once you get it to a liquidy, you just take it and roll that whole thing right around, and you see as I'm rolling it, it's getting incorporated more flour. But I think I need some more because I don't know if I have enough to fill that pan. So we're just going to add a little bit more. And so I'm going to work that. And as you're working, you can see the butter or the Crisco's in there and you're mashing it. So, and you can hear my grandson in there playing a game. So he's enjoying himself. So he'll enjoy himself here just in a little while with biscuits and gravy and country fried steak and fried taters. So now as you can see, this is how, and it takes practice. A lot of people can't make biscuits because it takes practice. I hate to say it, but my daughter can't make biscuits. She says when I'm gone, she says the biscuit making's over. So as you can see, and you see the well.
Yeah.
So instead of pulling it all down, you keep your well nice and neat, and you're pulling it down. And once you get that to that consistency, or a little bit thicker, and that's enough working out. So then's when you're going to start coming underneath here, and you're going to start patting it down to where you can work with it. And if you want to, you can do like that right there. But whichever you want to do. Just don't overwork it. Make sure you've got a flat surface, sort of, as best you can to start working with. I'm going to make some big old biscuits, and that was a little runny, but we don't care, because I can work this side a little bit more, because that'll turn out fluffy. Because I want to see if my biscuits are as big as theirs.
They're huge, yeah.
Yeah. Now this is a little bit loose, so I'm going to work it just a little bit more. And I'm going to turn it. We got it everywhere, or I do. So, and and as you can tell, I'm not working this too good. I'm just putting it in my pan, because as you flatten it out, you're not going to have to do a whole lot to it. My mama always told me you can overdo it. So I'm going to leave that like that, and let's see how much I got. Let's see. I might have enough to do 2 more, mightn't I?
Yeah.
I want these huge. I want to see. I hope they turn out good.
I'm going to be eating one of these
If
later.
they don't turn out good, honey,
They will.
we'll just go ahead and eat them anyway. We'll eat them anyway.
Everything Mammy touches turns out
I
well.
don't think so.
Yes,
She's
it
a little
does.
bit. She's a little bit. What do you call it?
Biased.
She's biased toward Mammy because she thinks Mammy can cook. Mammy just does the best she can do.
I'm trying to be Mammy Jr.
Oh my goodness, no! You're
One of these days.
You're
I'll get to
Mrs.
that
Betty
title.
Crocker Jr. So as you can see, I've mashed these out, and they are huge. So I'm going to wash my hands real quick and put them in the oven. I'll be right back. Maybe I can get part of this out anyway. I'm not going to be able to get it out while I'll have to go back and get my, I think I've got a fingernail scrubber out of the sink.
A fingernail?
You're not a scrubber, but the brush.
Oh, yeah,
So you
yeah.
can get it out from underneath the fingernails. Okay, let me put those up. All right, guys, so I'm going to go ahead and put this pan now, and I'm going to put it, let's see what these look like. Ooh, them's bowed up full. I'm going to put this on the bottom, so it's going to bake just a little bit harder, and I'm going to turn it long ways. We want them both to bake about the same. So, and I'm going to let you see these. Look at them biscuits. That's a big biscuit, buddy. Look at these big uns. All right, so I'm gonna put you on hold. We'll be right back in a few when I get this mess cleaned up. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I'm back. I'm looking to see if it's moving. There we go. So on our potatoes, let me move this out of the way. Once you get a brown crisp on the bottom, we turn this stove up a little bit higher. So it's between a medium high and a high. And this is getting that good crisp on the bottom. It's not showing it, is it? And so once you get them as crispy on the bottom as you want, then that's when you put your lid on them. And then you'll cut your stove down to a simmer or a low. And then they will just get real tender, but they'll have the good crisp on the outside. I'm going to let these fry just a few more. Okay, guys, I got a phone call there and cut it off, but I did want you to see the potatoes. I'm not ready to put my lid on them. I want you to see these huge biscuits. I want you to look. Them bigger than biscuit heads. So, anyway, I'm going to show my granddaughter-in-law how to make gravy homemade. I've got my country fried steak over here. But what we're going to do is I'm just going to use some shortening, and we have this Pioneer peppered gravy, and we're going to make, let me get some water. You have to have some water and some milk and some shortening and some flour to make homemade gravy. So I'm going to wash this little bowl out right quick, because I need some water in it. And like I said, if you have milk, you can use milk, or what we do is use half milk and half water. So I'm talking, but you can't see me, but I'm right here at the sink. I'll be right back. That's my little granddaughter-in-law sneezing. If you wondered what that little noise was. So anyway. Oh, we didn't even cut it. So what I'm doing, I've got my flour here. and I've got some shortening. And so what I've done is washed this little bowl out. It's a little stainless steel. I want to say it's a 5 or 6 quart stainless steel bowl. So I'm going to put water, cold water, tap water, whatever you want. You can do filtered water, whatever you want. But we're going to do this about half full of water because we want plenty of gravy. So once we get it about right under half or half, then we're going to fill the rest of the way up with milk. So what I'm going to do is put some shortening in that, but I'm preparing now because once you get your roux started, you don't have time to do this because it gets too thick too quick. So right here is my water, and you can see that. So we're going to put some milk in that. And you just guess at it. Just keep right on it going. On it going. Okay, that's good. So you can see here, I'm going to put just a little bit more milk so we've got plenty gravy. You can always add more water. No, not more milk.
Okay.
You can always add more water or milk if it's too thick. You can't, and if it's too thin, you got to add more flour. And that's a process as far as, I'm going to move this for right now because that's what I'm going to end up putting my gravy in. Process, because if you get your gravy too thin, you have to take some of your gravy out. Now these potatoes, guys, are getting the way I want them. They're crispy, and I don't want to burn them. So they're almost there, and then I'm going to cut them down and put a lid over them and just let them sit there and wait on the rest of our dinner. So to begin with, you got a skillet, and depending on how much gravy you want to make, you can use your Crisco shortening, you can use some olive oil, or you can use the meat grease that you fry your meat in. If you want to do sausage, you can crumble up, after you get your sausage fried, you can crumble up the sausage and put a piece of sausage in your gravy. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these potatoes down, and I'm going to put a lid over them. Because they're just about where I want them. That's the wrong lid. So they're just about where I want them. So we're just going to cut them down and let them just sit there and do their thing. So we've got it on in between low and medium. Now I'm trying to get this hot because that flour that we sifted and put back in our container, just say for instance we had some sausage or bacon in here, you leave the grease, you take your bacon or sausage out. I don't have any bacon or sausage, but we're going to have the country fried steak. I could probably take one of those and put in here and flavor it, which would make it have a better flavor. And I guess I thought I was probably hungry when I went and got this because I got 2 packs. And they're called Fast Fixins if you don't have time to do homemade country fried steak. This is the closest thing in the world that you can get to the homemade taste. And it's quick. If you work or you got kids, this is good. So what I'm going to do is take one of these, and I'm going to put the rest of these probably in the oven. We're going to take one, you see how big that is? And we're going to put in here just to have flavor. Or I may put them in a skillet. I don't know yet.
Okay.
So we've got our flour over here. We've got our piece of meat in here just to give it flavor now. I'm going to have to hunt me another skillet. Once this gravy's made, I'm going to transfer it over into a kettle or a pot, whatever you call it, because I need this to do my country fried steak in. So we're going to let that start sizzling there for a few minutes, and then I'm going to take some flour out, and when I get the meat out. Checking on these big old biscuits. Oh my goodness, look at them biscuits.
Oh, yum.
They're bigger than biscuit head, I believe. So just trying to get this meat to sizzle to where we can get the flavor of the meat. I may even chop some of the little pieces off just so we've got that country fried gravy taste. So anyway, I'm just trying to show my little granddaughter in love over here, and I'm sure her grandmothers know how to do this.
One of them, not the other one, but one of them.
make homemade gravy.
GM would know.
Oh yeah.
Grandmommy, she would not.
I bet Grandmommy keeps secrets. I bet she would.
Her
I
kitchen
bet she.
is decor.
Aw.
It
So.
came with the house.
Aw. So. So what we're gonna do? Probably just use two of the. I'm just getting this meat to sizzling good. And all I'm trying to do is just get some of the flavor from this country fried steak. My potatoes are still sitting there doing their thing. My biscuits are still coming right along pretty good. I'm gonna turn this up. I thought I hit 400, but evidently I didn't. So we're putting that on 400 because you don't want to bake your biscuits at a high rate, at a high heat, because the longer you bake them, the tougher they get. So it don't take too long to bake them. Cutting this down just a little. And I'm going to try to take some of the little bitty pieces and chop up in here, just so that we'll have this flavor in our gravy. And if you had sausage, that's what you would do with sausage. This country fried steak is already fully cooked. It's just been fully cooked and frozen. That's what's so good about it. It's really quick and easy. Now, if you have the time and want to do a country fried steak yourself, you'll use a hamburger steak or what they call minute steak or chopped steak. I have seen people use cube steak. I'm not a fan of cube steak, just literally because of the gristle in it. Y'all know me, and so I can't take that gristle, I can't take that, and I can't take that little white thing in eggs. So, anyway, I think this is coming right along, and we're going to have plenty of flavor in this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of meat and put it on a napkin, and when I fry the rest of mine, I will put that right in there. Alright, so all I needed was the flavor of that. So we're cutting this down. And now just imagine this is, we've got shortening, we've got meat and meat flavor. And now I'm taking my flour, my self-rising flour that's been sifted, and I'm putting a big scoop. And you see that's about a half a cup scoop, but it's probably 3/4 cup. And I'm just shaking that over. Okay, that's probably a good half a cup. And I'm going to start stirring that. I'm going to try to use a wooden spoon because I hate destroying my skillets, but I do all the time. Now that steak probably had some salt in it. This is how you make your homemade gravy. You don't have to have the meat, but your gravy will have more flavor if you have a piece of meat. Yeah. So.
I like sausage gravy, so
yeah.
Especially for like biscuits and gravy.
Oh yeah.
That'd be so good.
I'm going to put just a little bit more. This is a little bit thin for me because you don't want it too thin, because we're going to let this cook, so I'm cutting this down just a little. You don't want raw flour taste. So once this cooks just a little, I'm going to taste of that to see how salty that is. If it's not got enough salt, it's going to have some salt. And this is nothing but shortening and flour and a little piece of meat, so it ain't going to hurt you to taste of it. So here's how I taste of it.
Oh my word, baby.
As of right now, it tastes like it's got enough salt, but we are going to add some black pepper until my ancestor says that's enough. We don't measure much around here, and then I've got my granddaughter in love. She don't measure much either, and she turns out really good. So we're going to let that sit there and cook, because you want your flour to cook, but you don't want it to burn. And this is really just a roux. As you can see, it's just a roux. It's a flour, shortening, and meat flavored roux. So I'm going to let that sit there, and I'm going to get my dish rag. It usually will turn just a little bit brown. So your gravy's not solid white. It's got a little bit of brown tint to it. Some people say they call it white gravy, but your flour still has to cook a little bit, because it's going to taste like raw flour if you don't. Trying to get up some of this mess. They say good cooks are slightly plump and makes messes in the kitchen. Well, yep, I'm a little more than slightly plump. I'm pleasingly. That's a little bit more than slightly. Or some people, if they don't want to call you fat, they'll say you're voluptuous. So I like that word pretty good. I'm turning this up just a hair, just to go ahead and get my flour started, get it to sizzling, get a little bit of color on it. And I don't do mine like everybody else. You know, everybody's got their own way. Each cook that I see on YouTube, they've got their own way of making gravy or how they do it. Now, back when I was growing up, you talking about poor, we was poor. If Mama had flour and water, she could do miracles with it, just like with the flitter bread. If she could make gravy with flour and water and a very little milk, or they used carnation canned cream back then. So she'd make that can of cream last all week, and she could put what was left over in the refrigerator. So this is getting just a hair of a color, not a whole lot, but it's sizzling and cooking. So now is the time that we're going to add our milk and our water. So here we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and add my Pioneer pepper gravy. Get this stirred up here real good while that's heating up.
You need some scissors?
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to start out with two. Yeah, either one of them. I'm going to start out with 2 packs. I've got 4 packs laying here, but since I started out with homemade roux and gravy, it'll probably just take 2 packs. But this is going to have a really good flavor with this peppered Pioneer gravy, and then the homemade gravy with the country fried steak flavorings in it and some of the meat in it. It'll be really good. And make my turkey gravy something like this. I'll take the grease off the turkey that's in the bottom of the pan, and then I'll make a roux with it, and then I'll make my gravy with it, and it turns out really good. But I don't use milk, I use water and our chicken broth.
Okay.
So you can make your these are big biscuits, let me tell you. Trying to get it where both of them can get some heat. And I didn't time them, guys, so I'm just watching them. I'm saying about 30 to 40 minutes on those big biscuits. I didn't notice that I didn't have my heat on 400. I had it on 325, and that was my mistake by not looking up there seeing what I was doing. So with your gravy, even if you don't have the packaged gravy and you're just making homemade gravy, once you get that roux brown and you put your mixture of water or milk, or just water if you don't have milk, you constantly are stirring. And that's to keep it from getting lumps in it. If you get lumps, just don't worry about it. They'll eventually cook out. If not, you won't know it when you put it over a biscuit, no way. But anyway, this is looking pretty good. And if we have to add another pack of the gravy mix, I will, because we did have about 5 quarts of water and milk mixture. You're going to cut it down because you don't want that flour in the bottom to burn. And you constantly are scraping that bottom, and you're constantly stirring. So all we did here was we made a homemade roux and made homemade gravy, but we added 2 packs of the Pioneer gravy
Peppered
mix.
gravy,
Yeah, peppered gravy mix. I'm glad I got her here. My mind just went completely blank. So, and that's not anything unusual. I go blank a lot. As you get older, you have those moments. Sometimes they're a blessing and sometimes they're not. So you're just constantly stirring. I'm cutting my stove bar back up now. As you see, I'm going back and forth. If it feels like it in the bottom it's trying to stick, I'm going to cut my stove bar down. If it feels like it's not cooking hard enough, because I want my gravy, I don't want it so thick you can cut it with a knife, but I don't want it so thin you can drink it out of a cup either. So this is how it thickens. You can add a little bit of flour to this to thicken it, or you can add another pack of that pepper gravy mix. The Pioneer pepper gravy, or they have different types, they have different names. Here's another one. This one's a different. This is a pepper Pioneer, and this is a Southern Mills sausage gravy flavor, but I don't want to use that because I don't want sausage and country fried steak mixed.
Random question: could you use cornstarch or no?
I've
Would you
never,
use flour instead?
flour.
Okay.
Yeah, flour as your thickener.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you don't have another pack of the Pioneer gravy to thicken it and you're just making homemade gravy, you're going to use flour. You're going to have your shortening and your base, your meat, to flavor it. And then you're going to use flour. If this doesn't get thick, I can use flour to thicken it. I am going to taste it again. I'm thinking it's got enough salt just from the gravy mix and from that steak. So I'm turning it back up now because we want it to get thick. If it don't start getting thick, you're going to see me add some flour, or you're going to see me add that other package of Pioneer gravy mix. Because we did have a whole, that was a 5 or 6 quart bowl, and it was 3/4 full of water and milk.
Can you use what, 2% milk
You can use 2%,
or whole?
1%, or whole milk, whatever your choice. Some people that are lactose tolerant, you can't use oat milk and stuff like that. You have to have, if you're,
the lactose-free milk would work.
No,
Oh, it wouldn't. Okay.
no, just use plain water.
Okay.
Just plain water and flour and your shortening and your meat that you're frying your. So it feels like it's trying to thicken, so I'm going to let it sit here just a minute and see what it does. We're looking at them biscuits. We're wanting them babies to get brown. So as you let it set, you don't let it set too long. And it feels like it's trying to thicken, so I may not have to add anything. It's a process. It's not, country cooking is not something that is a hurry. My granddaughter Lexi can tell you, she makes homemade cinnamon rolls, and it's an all-day process.
Yeah, it takes me about 2.5 hours total.
2.5 hours just to make a batch of homemade cinnamon rolls. And then she also, and she does a wonderful job at that, she made some fried pies, and it took her about
Oh my word! way
about
longer than
6 hours
yeah, we were like
just to
6.
make a few fried pies. And it's a process. It's
But they were delicious.
Oh yeah, they were delicious. I know. I tried one of them. They were absolutely the delicious.
I
Wasn't even the
brought
word.
you, pumpkin chocolate chip bread.
Oh, did you now?
Yeah, I made that yesterday, and I also made banana bread with some chocolate chips in it. My sister loves that, so I brought it to her
I
last
like
night.
banana bread.
Mm.
Now Missy probably will like the pumpkin bread better than me, but
yeah,
I like
and
the
it has
banana.
chocolate chips in it to make it a little bit more
Oh.
pizzazz.
Yeah.
I put chocolate chips in everything.
So I'm gonna let you feel this, because I want you to feel the consistency.
Yeah, to see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
See, it's
Nice
just
and
it's
thick.
about to get to the point that you want gravy to be. You don't want it so thick that you can't, pour it over your biscuits. But I believe it's going to be okay without adding anything else. I think as it sits there, it will thicken. So I've cut my stove out down now. I'm going to cut it down on warm or on low, and then let's see what it does. I may scoot it back and just turn it on simmer, because that's going to thicken a little bit more. And you see the process. You can't get in too big of a hurry when you're making gravy. Now with this, you can put this in a pot of water and stir it up. I think it calls for, see if that don't say like a cup of water or 2 cups of water in one package.
Yeah, it just says
Water and add the
2
pack.
cups of water.
2 cups of water and
boil.
1 per package. And you can just stir that up in a kettle, and you've got good gravy. It's really good. I was shocked the first time I had it, but I think this is going to be okay right here. So I have to have one of these skillets to do my country fries. I may just go ahead and put them in the oven since I've already got this. Yeah. So I'm going to put this kettle up, and I'm going to put a lid over my gravy and just let it sit there. If you see me blowing, it's always because I'm afraid there might be a hair in it.
Oh.
You never know. Okay, so we're going to let that sit there, and it's on as about as low, almost off. So now what I'm going to do is get another pan, and I'm hoping these biscuits are going to be brown here in just a minute so that I can go ahead and have room to put my country fried steaks.
Those are looking pretty.
Yeah, we're going to melt some butter. If you want to get me a stick of butter out,
Yeah.
and we're going to paint them babies.
Ooh.
So I'm going to get me another pan out here and put my country fried steaks in. I've got this little pan right here. You don't even have to grease these pans when you're using this type of country fried steak because it has a natural grease in it. I may have to use this glass one too, I'm not sure. In the drawer, baby, did you find it?
Yeah, there was a light one in there, but no, it wasn't normal.
It don't matter.
I didn't know it.
Okay, that's fine. Now also, Lexi, if you happen to use these, you can get these at Food City. Oh, it's Walmart. It has a pack of gravy in it.
Okay.
I've never used it, so I can't tell you if it's good or not.
Hmm.
So we're gonna melt that.
Okay.
And we're gonna bake those biscuits with it. When it comes out, we're gonna kind of brush, put that butter in a bowl.
Glass thing that you can melt it in.
I've got a tap we can put in for.
Glass cup. Over here.
Up on the cabinet like a coffee cup.
Yeah.
Alright, so we've got these in this cookie pan, and we're just going to go ahead and try to get these in the oven. I'm putting them on the top rack because it don't take a whole lot of time and it's on 400. I'm just trying to get my biscuits brown. Like I said, I put them in there on a low temperature, and that was my mistake. That should have been on a 400 to begin with.
It's probably only in there for 15 minutes, the first batch.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want them to get brown. If they don't get brown on top on confect, I'm fixing to turn them on. I'm going to check and see if the bottom's brown. If the bottom's brown, I'm going to turn them on broil just for a minute. And that's something you have to watch too. So that butter's not melted yet. So, all right, we're just going to melt this butter. We're going to hunt a brush. You put this over there. I didn't burnt them off. Did you hear my grandbaby? You burnt them off, woman.
Does it go down in this drawer? Or this cabinet?
Yes, it's got over there. It's up right there. Just be careful, because there you go. So we've got our butter melted, and now we're just waiting to get these out so that we can butter them on top. It makes me mad that I didn't put them on there on 400 to begin with.
Too hard on yourself.
Well, if I had, they would have already been out of the oven. But I don't use that gravy. That's probably not good as ours anyway.
Nothing is as good
Oh
as ours.
my goodness. So, yeah, I do have a few burn scars from cooking for 50 years. It probably took me the first 4 to learn how to cook. But you do learn a few shortcuts too. So, I don't know what to do. I'm going to take these back out and I'm going to check these biscuits. I'm going to
How
make
about you put
I'm going to swap it around. I'm going to put the biscuits.
those on the bottom,
Yeah.
and then that one in the middle with the glass one.
They're almost brown. Yeah, I don't want them getting hard, and that's what I'm afraid they're going to do. Did I hear a handheld somewhere? Oh, over here. All right, guys. Here we are just talking up fog. You can't even see what we're doing. We're debating where to put these biscuits in this oven. So we're going to swap things around, and I'm putting these big giant biscuits up here on top to try to get them brown, and I'm going to put my country fried steak in the bottom. So they're already cooked. So what we're going to do is try to get, I'm hoping I can't do that because I'm afraid they're not done because they're huge.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we're just going to let them bake a few more minutes. I'm I'm going to turn you up to about 450 degrees and see if we can't get it to going from right there. Lexi learned how to make homemade gravy. Look, Lexi.
Did you see how big those were earlier?
Did you see my gravy, Lexi? Your gravy?
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. So, we'll be right back when we get these biscuits brown, okay? See you in a few. All right, guys. I want to show you these. The pan. I just about forgot it. Hold that up there, my granddaughter. Look here at these biscuits. Them things are huge. You could only eat one of those. All right, so we'll be right back. About got everything ready. I'll put the country fried steak, and it's about ready. See you in a few. All right, guys, we've opened these biscuits, and there's one pan almost gone. Look at Lexi's fluffy biscuit. Look at this. So brown and crispy outside and fluffy in the middle. So, guys, and over here is our country fried steaks. We're going to take some pictures of some plates here in a minute. And then we've got our gravy. And then we've got our fried potatoes. So we're going to stir this gravy. And this gravy has turned out perfect. Perfect. Let me stir this up where it's been sitting here. Look how good. Oh my goodness. I want you to look. Did you hear that, guys? My daughter, it says she's going to starve to death. So, guys, we are going to get off of here, and Lord willing, we're going to eat and enjoy what God has given us. So, may God bless you, keep you safe. Pray for all the people that are going through these disasters, and pray for us, and we'll pray for you. May the Lord be with you all and keep you safe. And always smile, because smiles are contagious. Give somebody a hug today. All right, this is Sheila E. Until we see each other again. All right, bye-bye.